Welcome to our fine sponsors at Micro Center, where I have this early, the brand new Lenovo Legion Go. This thing is really cool. Not only does it have detachable controllers, one of which doubles as a vertical mouse, the AMD Z1 Extreme, which means it can play proper AAA games right out of the box, but there's a whole lot more. Let's take a closer look. So I'm going to be doing a few things today, not only of course by taking a closer look at this device, but on top of that I'm going to be making some upgrades. So first and foremost, I'm going to get a larger SSD. By default, this is rocking a 512GB SSD, which is fine, but as you can see, Micro Center has tons of options if you want to crank that even farther. We're talking 1, even 2TB SSDs, and the cool thing is, if you actually buy this from Micro Center, they can install the SSD for you, although in this case, I'm going to actually crack it open and see just how easy that process is. So we're shooting this before the Legion Go goes on sale, which means that for accessories and peripherals, I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative because as far as I know, nothing has really been made specifically for this just yet. The nice thing about this is that it is a full Windows PC, which means that I can pretty much use anything, especially because I've got 2 USB-C ports top and bottom. The number one thing I want to try to find is a dock. So this is a Sabrent USB-C docking station. Now, as you can see, it's meant more for the Steam Deck. However, because we have a USB-C on top and bottom, it means that we can use a dock for both top and bottom. Dude, I feel like today is the day. We're always like so locked in on the PC section. We're discovering the wonders of Micro Center. Wait, look at this little guy. Hold on, what? What if I put the entire setup in this little baby backpack? It's my Legion Go gaming setup. Look at this, look. It's a sling too. Is that a Legion Go in your backpack? Or are you just happy to see me? Okay, that's some cables right there. Wait, they actually have, oh wait, no, I wanna get this. They have the USB-C cable and it has the little screen on it. Okay, I'm doing that. So this is a 1TB SanDisk micro SD card. So with this, I will have 2 or even 3 terabytes of storage built directly into my Legion Go. All right, so we've got everything we need to upgrade our Legion Go, so let's go bring it back to the studio, swap that SSD, and let me tell you why I personally think this thing is incredibly cool. Oh, don't mind me, just taking my Legion Go out for a stroll. So before I actually spend time with it, let me see how much of this can fit, because, I mean, this should all go in there, right? That seems fine. Now, the thing I'm excited about is this. So this is the Cherry MX-LP 2.1. This is a low-profile mechanical Bluetooth keyboard. And honestly, I like using a keyboard for a bunch of reasons. Not only to use this as an actual laptop replacement for some things. I mean, set up like this, you can actually do real work on this, watch videos or whatever, but you also can game with this controller. So with my vertical mouse and my keyboard, I could pretty much do whatever I want. And then we've got ourselves a very thin mouse pad. I will say that this is a decent vertical mouse, clearly slightly compromised on the actual sort of feel of it, but having a mouse pad will be helpful. My goal with this setup is to sort of emulate a laptop in a lot of ways. So if everything fits in here, which I think it will, imagine being able to walk up to like a coffee shop, whatever, pull out a couple of things out of your bag, have not only your gaming setup in full handheld mode, your portable charging solution, your docked setup, and the ability for you to connect all this to, say, an external monitor while you have a vertical mouse and a wireless keyboard. Like, to me, that's pretty cool. Now that I'm feeling better about our accessories, that I totally was not worried it all would work together, let's actually upgrade our Legion Go. So I'm gonna do the easy part first, so I can open this package, which is to install our thank you very much. I'm gonna install our 1TB micro SD card. Okay, can I just level with you for a second? I've been pleasantly surprised by my time with the Legion Go. And I'm not just saying that because Micro Center is sponsoring this video and you can buy this at Micro Center. I mean it. Things like the detachable controller that not only functions as a vertical mouse, which works well, but you also can use the touchpad. And the touchpad also works really well, especially when it's already attached to here. That plus the larger display, which I'll admit this is a little bit chunky, but because of that, you've got decent battery life, especially if you're not doing like hardcore gaming. You've got a terrific 144Hz display. It's 8.8 inches. It's 1600p, which is more resolution than you need for gaming, but it is a perfect amount of resolution for actually being productive with this. So I can pull up like multiple tabs and have plenty of screen real estate. It looks super nice and sharp. There's a lot about this that is really clicking. And for me, I look at this, and especially once I update it with this 1TB SSD card and the 2TB SSD, there's kind of no reason why I couldn't use this as my gaming laptop, my gaming desktop, and my gaming portable. Like, it really could do it all. Cool, let's upgrade the SSD, shall we? I will give them props. Normally when I'm taking apart these kind of devices, there's usually like a fat seam like where the controllers are or something, but it's very, very tightly built, which is a good thing. Oh snap, that's really clean. That was it. 6 screws, and I just had to get it started, and that's it. Oh, dude, that looks dope on the inside. First of all, I like the fact that everything is color-coded, but there's a lot of extra space. And I assume they're doing that because they wanted to make sure they had like a very thick cooler, because if you look at like the actual fan blades there, they're very, very fine, and the actual height of that fan is pretty big. So I assume that that's what they did that for. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff here that I don't recognize. So clearly the battery is here, but what is this piece on top? So I think it's got top firing speakers. What is this big plate on the back of the battery? Interesting. Let me just gently undo that battery real quick, just to make sure I don't zip, zap anything. So if this is what I think it is, and it is, look at that. So that is our SSD. So let's take a little closer look. I mean, it's not difficult to say upgrade the SSD in like a Steam Deck or something. This is easier though. It is taking me 6 screws, a little bit of encouragement, and pulling back 1 sticker, and I've got myself access to our SSD. So this is the 512 gig SSD you can see here. So theoretically, I can swap in pretty much any PCI 4.0 SSD here. You can't get like the full size SSDs, but this is the same kind of SSD that you would put in a Surface, in a Steam Deck. It's becoming fairly standard, and importantly, you can get this size of SSD at Micro Center very easily. I'm really happy right now. Let's actually put this back together, load up my full setup, and we'll show you exactly what the Legion Go is capable of. This, my friend, is our Legion Go setup, and I'm happy to report after a little bit of test fitting that it all fits in our tiny little bag. So let me break it down for you. So first of all, we've got ourselves this USB-C to C cable, which does have a little display on the actual cable, which will show me not only temperature, but importantly, the actual power. Next up, we have our 10,000 milliamp hour GaN Prime charger, which is not only a power bank, but also a full speed charger, which will keep our Legion Go topped off. And we have our Sabrit USB-C hub, which might not be designed for this, but it does stretch and work and gives us a bunch of additional USB-A ports as well as HDMI out. Next up, we've got our Legion Go, our Cherry low-profile mechanical keyboard, mouse pad, and then you've got yourselves an entire gaming setup and a bag designed for a 12-inch laptop. I know how to do this. I'm just really good at putting straps on. Look at that. Don't I look stylish? Don't I look like I'm walking around with my Surface or something? Nope, I got a whole gaming setup in here. I'm gonna see exactly how fast I can get this setup ready to go. Not as fast as if it was a gaming laptop, but I bet it'll be close.
Ready, set, go!
And time.
That is 1 minute and 45 seconds.
That's not bad. Do you see my gaming setup? Come on, you can't tell me this isn't legit. Like, this is so cool. Well, you know what? I'll really sell you by showing you the performance of the Legion Go. Behold, my friend, my Legion Go has transformed into a desktop. So again, your vertical mouse plus keyboard. I've got it plugged into our dock. I've turned off the internal display to save just a tiny bit of frame rate. And we're actually going out to this 4K monitor, which I will admit, even though it will handle 4K, you probably should stick to like something like 1080. But that's the nice thing about it. It does have the performance to handle high resolution displays. You just want to turn it a little bit down for gaming. So I have played this in portable mode. This is my first time running it in the actual docked mode. So what I've done here is that I've actually turned it up to performance mode, which you can tell because the little LED on top will change colors based on the mode. So I think it's blue for silent, white for standard, red for performance, which is a nice little feature so you can at a glance tell. For my portable setup, I spent a little bit of time tweaking it. Setting it mostly to low settings and setting Fidelity of X to performance helped a lot. And I had it set to 1920 by 1200, which actually technically should be 1080 because it's a 16 by 9 display. Look at that! Oh, holy! 56 FPS? Even considering this is a 4K display, which is right in front of my face, that looks great. This is totally fine. Absolutely fine. Dude, I'm so happy with this. I'm looking at this huge 4K display. Mind you, I'm playing on like 1080p at low settings, and you know, it's certainly not like pristine image quality, but the fact that this is such a tiny portable setup, the fact that I've got this all running with stuff that can fit in this tiny little bag, like, this is neat. I think it's pretty safe to say that Cyberpunk runs well here, but let me show you my party trick. I can now play in full portable mode using the actual Legion Go with the controllers. Now, I will mention that I am, of course, running pre-production software. So specifically the driver that I'm using, this AMD driver, is dated from July. So by the time that you're actually able to get your hands on the Legion Go, the final shipping version will be out. So if anything, we actually might see slightly better performance, but what I've seen is incredibly playable. Now, no, you're probably not going to be playing at 144 frames per second in most games, even though the screen supports it. And no, most games are also not going to be playable at 1600p. So I found that 1080p seems to be the sweet spot, or 1200p in the case of this 16:10 display. But look, when you put this thing together, it is very, very usable. At $700, I think that the Lenovo Legion team have done a lot right with the Go. If you're interested in learning more, you can definitely be sure to check this out at Micro Center. It is available. And don't forget, if you want to upgrade the SSD, you can do that directly at Micro Center. They will do it for you. On top of that, Micro Center are also opening a brand new store in Charlotte, North Carolina early in 2024. If you sign up using the link in the description, once that store is open, you can get yourself a free 128 gig USB drive. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go take my Legion Go and go walk around with my DIY laptop kit. Gonna go come up with some better segues. Gonna go come up with a funnier pun. I'm gonna Legion Go play some games.